UFC 162 is going to go down as one of the most memorable MMA events of all time. Wow. What is up, guys? Chase Oliver 68 here, bringing you another video to my channel. So anyways, let's get started with UFC 162. First off, the fight that kicked off the show was Cub Swanson versus Dennis Seaver. Dennis Seaver, you guys know, he jumps around a lot in the UFC. First, he was a welterweight, then he became a lightweight, and now he's a featherweight. And Dennis Seaver's a tough dude. And Cub Swanson, he's running on an emotional high right now. I mean, this dude has won 4 fights in a row. Boy, what a fight this was. This was an entertaining fight throughout. I suggest you guys go try to... In fact, go watch this. No, actually, fuck the Tim Kennedy fight. I'll talk about that later. This fight was pretty damn good. And then Cub Swanson and Dennis Seaver at the end. You know, this fight was really close. I think that the first round was kind of, okay, who won this round? Second round, I gave it more to Swanson. But it was kind of like, okay, so these guys need to go for the knockout. These guys are trying to prove, hey, we're in the featherweight division. We want a shot at the title. You know, there's guys in front of us. This division's stacked. The featherweight division is very stacked. And Cub Swanson, he delivered a beautiful disaster, I think you wanted to call it. Not a beautiful disaster, a beautiful chaos or whatever. Joe Rogan was saying it on the commentary. Cub Swanson wins by TKO in the third round. Crazy ass finish. Very good fight. Good win for Cub Swanson. Where should Cub Swanson go now? Should he fight Ricardo Lamas? Should he fight Anthony Pettis? I don't know, because he said that, you know what, the fans tell me who I want to fight, and that's pretty much it. So let's move on, as we got the return of the Filipino wrecking machine, Mark Munoz, and he took on Tim Boesch. And really, to be honest here, Tim Boesch versus Mark Munoz, this was actually entertaining mat wrestling stuff. I really did enjoy it. Mark Munoz was landing body shots that made me want to grab my ribs sometimes. Like, seriously, I was like, when he would hit those body shots, I was like, oh, god damn, dude. Like, I felt those body shots for some reason. It was, oh. But Mark Munoz looked great. And if you guys don't know the story about Mark Munoz, what happened, you know, he had that surgery and then he got really fat. He was like 250 pounds, and the dude, you know, he looks ripped and he looked very good. And like, he was rusty, but he was rusty against a very good fighter in Tim Boesch. Tim Boesch is a very good fighter. He's not no one to sleep on. And he looked very good against Tim Boesch. I gotta say, Mark Munoz, no ring rust on you. All right. As for Mark Munoz moving forward, give him a Bisping again, maybe someone else, just to have him do another good fight. Let's see how far Mark Munoz can go. All right, we got Tim Kennedy versus Roher Gracie. In all honesty, Tim Kennedy won in a snooze fest. Next. Oh, Frankie Edgar versus Charles Oliveira. Now, if you guys watch my UFC 162 preview, I said Charles Oliveira, he doesn't stand a chance against Frankie Edgar. I think Frankie Edgar is going to outpace him, just look better than him throughout the fight. Yeah, Oliveira might get a couple of scares with the knee lock and everything, but in all honesty, that wasn't the case. Frankie Edgar and Charles Oliveira did a great stand-up battle. Frankie Edgar was very smart in this fight. Pretty much this fight, to me, it wasn't even close. First round, you could have said maybe give it to Oliveira, maybe to Frankie. Second round, I gave it to Frankie. And third round, Frankie won that third round. Hands down, Frankie Edgar finally gets back on the winning side of the column. Who knows what's next for Frankie Edgar? You know, hell, the bantamweight division is really weak. Do you think Frankie Edgar could go down to the bantamweight division and go fight there? I mean, really, to be honest, the bantamweight champion, Dominic Cruz, we don't know when the hell he's coming back. Raynon Barreal, he was supposed to fight at the last UFC, 161. He was supposed to fight, but he keeps getting injured. And in all honesty, that bantamweight division is held on standby. That bantamweight division is held on standby. And I give Frankie shit for getting a lot of title shots. But hey, maybe he's something for the bantamweight division. Maybe the featherweight division, because it's really stacked. Maybe it's not a good division for him. Maybe he can go down to the bantamweight division and fight there. I wouldn't mind if he went down to the bantamweight division. But I think he most likely will stay at featherweight. All right. This is the moment I'm pretty sure most people are waiting for. Anderson Silva versus Chris Weidman. Now, Anderson Silva is one of my favorite fighters. He is one of the greatest of all time. And Chris Weidman is one of the greatest talents in MMA history. And I said Weidman, he had a shot in this fight. I gave Weidman a shot, but I felt, you know, this was too early for Weidman to get a title shot. And the thing about it wasn't because I thought Chris Weidman wasn't skilled. No, Chris Weidman's very skilled, but I felt this fight would be his education fight, saying, hey, you know what, you may have lost this championship fight against Anderson Silva, but now you get to move on forward. But nope, that wasn't the case. First round, Weidman pretty much takes down Silva, starts beating his ass, almost gets a nice knee lock in. But then the rest of the time, Silva was taunting Weidman. And pretty much it looked like, oh my God, we're getting Damian Maia 2.0. If you guys remember what happened in the Damian Maia fight, Silva was doing the same exact shit. And so pretty much Anderson Silva, in the second round, he was going out there. He was pretty much making Weidman looked like a joke pretty much throughout the fight. Weidman was trying to hit strikes, but Silva was just looking way too fast. But then Silva did such an amateur move. He leaned back, had his hands down. He leaned back. He leaned fucking back, had his hands down, and Weidman gets a nice left in. Okay, the left grazes a little bit, or it could have been the right grazes, and then hits a huge boom sucker to Silva. Silva does a stanky leg, fucking falls down. My heart dropped. I was like, what? Oh my goodness, this is awesome. This is great. Holy shit. And then, because I'm an Anderson Silva fan, and I was freaking out about this. I thought it was awesome. And then Weidman goes down for the punch, and the unthinkable happened. Chris Weidman fucking won the middleweight title. And in all honesty, I'm not upset about this. Anderson Silva, to be honest, this is my theory, and I'm not trying to make an excuse for Silva. Silva was an idiot. Okay, first of all, doing the lean back and stuff like that was terrible. But I feel like Silva, he was trying to taunt Weidman because he wanted Weidman to give his best. Like, he really wanted Chris Weidman to go out there and literally try to knock Silva out. I think Silva really wanted a huge, stand-up brawl with Weidman, but Silva was too busy taunting that he got hit before the brawl could even start. That's just me thinking, because knowing Silva as a counterpuncher, and especially that's what sometimes Floyd Mayweather does. Floyd Mayweather does that, where he kind of taunts to his opponents, and he waits, and he has to see how they're striking, and then he will get into a brawl with them. I felt Silva was very passive in this fight. He wasn't being aggressive whatsoever. And really, to be honest, he deserves to lose the middleweight championship. Chris Weidman is now the future of the UFC, future of the middleweight division. Well-deserved win for Chris Weidman. And you know what, Chris Weidman, he showed some fucking class. He was like, you know what? I'm happy to be here. This is great. This is an American dream come true. Matt Serra came through for Chris Weidman. If you guys don't know, Matt Serra beat GSP, in that one fight. And then all of a sudden it was like Matt Serra's welterweight champion. Now Chris Weidman's middleweight champion. Now, Chris won the middleweight title, and he pretty much just said, hey, you know what? If Anderson wants a rematch, I would love it because he gave me a shot at the title, so I would love it. And Anderson cut the weirdest interview ever. And I was almost kind of in tears because I felt this was a passing of the torch moment. I really did. And we really don't have that in MMA. We never had like a passing of the torch type of moment. Randy Couture didn't do it with Brock Lesnar. Couture and Liddell never really had that. We never really had that passing of the torch moment. And even Fedor in his illustrious career, we never had that passing of the torch moment with Fedor. And Silva, kind of was just saying, oh, I don't want to fight for title. I've been working so hard and all this. I don't know what he was saying. Like, is he saying that he didn't try in this fight because he wanted Chris Weidman to win? Like, I don't even know what the fuck he was saying. He was just saying, I respect Chris. He's the future. I'm done fighting for the title. So I thought, okay, you're done fighting for the title. But then he's like, oh, I have 10 fights left on my fucking contract. So I'm like, so are you moving up to light heavyweight? Is that what Anderson Silva was trying to tell us? He's moving up to light heavyweight? No, he's just saying that his career is done, but he says, no, it's not. I don't even know what's going through the mind of Anderson Silva. I got to watch the post-fight press conference. I got to see what the fuck Silva was saying. I got to get a goddamn translation for what Anderson Silva was saying, but I don't know what the fuck he was saying. It kind of sucks, though, that this is how Anderson Silva's legacy ends. But I feel just like how Anderson Silva came off on the interview. I feel he wanted his legacy to kind of end like this because all great legacies end in the knockout. All great reigns, all great stuff always end in some dramatic fashion. I feel Anderson was kind of like that, but we don't know the whole situation yet. Maybe this is Silva talking out of his ass. Maybe he will fight for the middleweight title again. But Chris Weidman, congratulations. You deserve this shit, man. You fucking knocked out Silva. You had one of the best knockouts I've seen in a long ass time in MMA. That wasn't like super flashy, like the spin kicks and shit like that. You had one of the best knockouts. That knockout is always going to be relived in my memory. Chris Weidman, you're the fucking man. Good shit, man. I'm not a huge Weidman fan, but I gotta give him props, man. The motherfucker delivered. He delivered, and I'm gotta give him props on this one. And looks like Weidman versus Vitor. That's going to be a fucking good fight. But I'm still sad. It was a passing the torch moment. I got really emotional during it. So, yeah. But anyways, guys, that's it for my UFC recap. I know it went long, but I had to kind of talk about Weidman and Silva extended. Anyways, if you guys like me, subscribe by clicking the little icon or down below. Follow me on Twitter at ChaseOliver68. That's pretty much it. If you guys like what you saw, just subscribe. Anyways, guys, have a safe Saturday night. Hope you guys enjoyed your 4th of July weekend. Hope you guys ain't doing anything stupid. And once again, congrats to the new middleweight champion, Chris Weidman.